Hello, my name is Natasha,
Hi, I'm Quincy.
and welcome back to Lessons My Son Taught Me podcast. Let's jump right in. So, on today's show, we are going to be having the very uncomfortable yet common conversation in which basically my relationship with my son, rather, taught me how to tolerate the other parent. And just for a little background context, Quincy's father and I were very young when we started dating. I was 18, his dad was 21, and then we were parents at, my goodness, like what,
20 and
20?
23.
Yeah. Okay. Come on. Come on, numbers. And we were together for about 4 years, but we were together at, a very young age. And I'm grateful that Quincy was born out of love. Quincy was always cared for, and that was never a concern. It's just that, of course, through the years, navigating that co-parenting relationship sometimes has been easy and sometimes has been, of course, challenging.
Mm-hmm.
What would your perspective be, Quincy?
Honestly, I don't know. I was so young at the time that from a kid's perspective, it's like really just parents being parent or parents bickering, argumenting. It's not a word.
But were we arguing like that?
Not really. It was more so just like,
Okay. I just wanted to put that out there because
nah,
I'm not the argumentative type.
no, but I would say it was more just like separation.
Right. Exactly.
That's simply put, separation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's common,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. But I think for us having been so young, we really actually made it work, probably better than a lot of our peers. And it's looked differently throughout the years because at this point, Quincy is now 17 and almost graduating high school. And there have been times where it has been so seamless, so easy. And then other times where it's just like, okay, I'm blocking your father. Mm-hmm. And he's blocked right now. But all that to say, what inspired this particular episode was a conversation that I had with my son in which I had an assignment or task from my ex-therapist, because clearly she's no longer my therapist. I did not feel like she gave the best assignments or advice, so I had to move on. I texted my son one day and I shared with him, and I'm reading from the text now, Quincy. I said to my son, FYI, my therapist gave me the assignment to unblock the last person I blocked and have the, quote, hard conversation I did with your dad. And I put a bunch of emojis, like eye rolling, like side eye, sneeze. And I said, we went back and forth about your car and how he thinks it's not all the way fixed. I'm not doing any more of her exercises. He's reblocked. And I shared that with him. But after I did so, I immediately was like, okay, Tasha, like, you know better. Your disagreements with Quincy's father have nothing to do with Quincy, right? That's between you and him. You informing Quincy of them is inappropriate, unnecessary, and you know better. I was definitely kicking myself. So a couple minutes later, right? Because at that point, I think it was too late to unsend them. I was straight up. I said, please forgive me, Quincy, as I should not, capital N-O-T, involve/inform you in spats with your father because that is childish of me and disrespectful to you. I am truly sorry. It will not happen again. And what did you say, Quincy?
Well, first, I feel like I have to give some context. Though the whole spat kind of was about the car. I got into a car accident. Dumb mistake. I just backed up. wasn't looking at a mirror, and that's what happened. But the car's fixed now, but my
Mm-hmm.
father didn't think it all the way fixed. So that's where this began.
Mm-hmm.
My response to your comment was, it's okay, Mama. I appreciate the apology, and do have to admit that it is tiring for me to have to listen to both of you and Dad, talk about each other negatively. It feels as if I am forced to choose a side. It makes me feel as if you guys are mature. But regardless, I understand and appreciate your apology, Mama.
And
Um,
then I said, it's not fair for you. There's not a side to choose, and we are being immature, admittedly. So thank you. And please stop either of us because you can control what you have to listen to. And you can use those words. It's childish and disrespectful to you. And you said,
I just said thank you for understanding, Mama, and yes, I'll start voicing myself.
yeah. So that was a real conversation that we had in which I think it happens often because it happened when I was growing up. I was a child in which my parents were separated.
Mm-hmm.
And I did often hear one parent talk negatively about the other. And I've tried to be mindful about not doing that when it comes to you, but it was in that moment that I definitely caught myself.
Mm.
And of course, I'm not perfect. I never have claimed to be, but I was like, nope, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this because what is the purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the reason for me sharing this information?
Yeah.
Truly. And if you think about it, it's usually because the parent sharing the information wants to show the child, oh, look at how unreasonable this other parent is being.
Mm.
And that's not fair. That's not fair because you don't have all the context. You don't have this, that, or the third, but it also has nothing to do with you. It just doesn't. And so I realized I was doing what I had essentially experienced, right?
Mm-hmm.
So many times between my mother and father, whether they realized it was damaging or not, it had been done. Whether they intended it to be malicious or not, it had been done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, whatever their perceptions were of each other, I held on to that. And that's not something that I wanted for you because you should have the opportunity to form your own opinions, beliefs, perspective based on your own experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I definitely get that. I think that, just coming into this year, I was going to try and start being more open,
Mm-hmm.
voicing what I want because I feel like recently in the later years of my life, I've seen so many familial relationships, family have just started to crumble, disappear between people who I love very dearly. So I can't, I was like, if I want to invite these two people, my parents, to my wedding, right? I can't have them like fighting. So,
Yeah.
and I was actually going to talk to you. That's why when you had
Mm-hmm.
first sent the message, I didn't respond. I just said, haha, I put the little emoticon thing and I was going to originally talk to you guys. I ended up talking to Dad as well. And I
Mm-hmm.
told him about it and he apologized as well.
Oh, good.
He admitted to being immature and we talked about it and he actually revealed a lot. He said that he's been in a mindset for so long, an immature mindset, that he doesn't really know how to grow from it.
Right.
But, admittance is the first step, I feel like.
Absolutely. And I feel like your father and I are both reasonable people.
Mm-hmm.
And for the record, let's not get it twisted.
Mm.
I will never, ever take away from the fact that you have an amazing father. I reached out to him randomly when you were about to, what was it, take the prep for,
Newton?
yeah,
Or
for
the
SAT.
ACT?
And I was real like cheesy with it. Like, you know what? Thank you. Like, we've done such a great job. You've done such a great job. We had our son at such a early age, but I think to see it come to the point where you were about to prepare to take the SAT, I was like, we've done a damn good job, right? For us having been so young. And I gave him his props. Like, he has never not been there for you, period. Whether or not he gets on my nerves is a completely different situation, because we know me, right? Like, my patience is non-existent. And I think that if necessary, one day he and I will perhaps have a conversation, if necessary, to just kind of discuss, I don't know, discuss things if need be. But at the moment, because I have such a direct line of communication to you, I've always felt like, okay, well, now I don't necessarily need to communicate with him. And I know that my ex-therapist, come on, emphasis on the ex. My ex-therapist was just very like confused about that, because she was like, well, that line of communication needs to be open. And I said, people can be creative. There are other ways to reach me. He knows where I work. He has my email address. But as far as being able to text me directly, knowing that I can go from 0 to 100, and trust me, like, I'm working on it ish, that's not the best method of communication between us right now. And for my sanity and for my peace, that's just how it has to be. So thank you, but no thank you for your advice.
No, I mean, no, I feel like peace
Is priceless.
Yeah, peace is priceless. It's like time, like how time is priceless more so than money, I feel like.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's why I don't know, that's why, you felt the need to just stand your ground. That's why I felt the need to stand my ground, and why people do the things that they do, But at the end of the day, you recognized it. And
at the end of the day, they got to end.
I don't know where you got that from, but that's good.
I don't know, one of these little female rappers. One of these little female rappers out here said that.
But
but I just never want to perpetuate that standard of it being okay to talk negatively about your father, because it's not. But I also want you to feel empowered enough to advocate and speak up, whether either of us is doing that, because you're old enough to, and you have the right to. Okay. And so just know that, like, I'm not saying like you only got to ride for me. You can ride for both of us, because at the end of the day got to end.
At the end of the day got to end. That's cold.
Ain't it cold? Yeah. Look, I cannot take credit for it. Y'all gonna have to Google it, look it up, see who it really came from. But it definitely was not me. It was not me. Something else I have always appreciated when it comes to your father is him always wanting to include everyone. So whether it's been like birthday parties or events, he's always kind of wanted to bring everyone together. And that's admirable, because I think my father's side of the family has done that as well. And I know when he got married to your stepmom, that made for a bigger blended family. And so it became, bigger birthday parties and just bigger, baptized. How did it make you feel to have everyone show up for you when it came to different events like that?
I don't know. I'd have to say that it felt really, really, like, it felt really good. This is kind of like tiptoeing backwards on what we talked about before, but, I like to think, now that I'm getting older, I like to do the things that would make me, when I was younger, a kid, I would like to do the things that would have made me happy. So, watching all this happen, standing on the sidelines, it just, like, I don't want to say killed me inside, but it kind of dulled me a little bit. So,
what do you mean?
Like, when I was younger, I would just see, like, back on, like, the original topic, when, you and Dad would bicker sometimes or whatever.
Bicker? You keep saying bicker, but I'm not a bickerer.
No.
I'm a blocker, but not a bickerer.
Sure, but I don't know.
Queen of blocking.
Yeah, but I just know that, I was so young. I didn't have the intelligence, I guess, the vocal intelligence, or just to say what I wanted to say, but say it so, you guys would listen.
Okay.
And I was always going somewhere back and forth. So to have everyone show up now, it just feels like I was missing something. But now it feels like I have it, you know?
Okay,
Um,
so if I understand what you're saying, you
mhm.
mean having the two birth parents present always.
Kind of, but like also just having everybody there. Like I know it's much different now,
Hmm.
but just for that period of time,
Hmm.
having people there, that supported me, that loved me, but
Yeah.
also loved me enough to tolerate the people that
Hmm.
didn't really get along with.
Yeah.
That's how I knew that I was, truly loved.
Yeah. I think you've definitely been blessed in the sense that you've kind of always had that,
Mm,
right?
mm-hmm,
Because being that your father came from an adopted background,
mm,
and he's had the blessing of having his adopted family and his biological family show up and show out, not only for him, but for you too. That has expanded your network of support.
mm,
And everybody loves Quincy, you know? And then when it came to me joining my sorority and my organization, that expanded your network of support. And I'm excited, when it comes to your graduation. Like, I got to figure out where we're going to have this thing, how many people we're going to have, because, your father's going to want to invite everybody.
mm-hmm.
I'm going to want to invite, my line sisters, my family, DC, Maryland, Virginia, Maryland.
Keep Atlanta, Vegas, basically.
Yeah, just represent. But it's all on behalf of you because we love and support you. And so, yeah, we finna show up and show out. I just hope those of us that attend the graduation, if they're like, please hold your applause to the end. You know how some people don't listen to that. But I think that's going to be dope. That's going to be real dope. And speaking of dope, I love how you like matched my fly today.
Oh yeah, with the black and the hat.
Yeah. Because I had to put me on a little hat because my hair was real disrespectful for the past couple of episodes. And here you are with a little, what is that, like a little velvet?
It's a little
do-rag?
I think it's a velvet do-rag.
A little razzle dazzle.
I just had a style on it one time.
Here I was thinking I was doing something, I thought I was doing a little something like, they not like us.
No,
they not like us. They not like us.
What? No, that's good.
Oh my gosh. Okay, back to the topic.
Mm-hmm.
Would you believe that the last time I actually had my mother and father in the same place after years was here in 2017 for Thanksgiving. But even at my big age, right, at the time, it felt really good, right? Little Tosh and me felt like really special. And oh my gosh, nope, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna cry, but I think it just speaks to the validation that we sometimes don't know we are seeking from our parents. And having them in the same space did make me feel loved and valued. Even though I know they can't stand each other. Right? Okay? Like, y'all are so full of it. And when y'all listen to this, I said what I said. I said what I said. Y'all are so full of it, but I still love you. And I can never tell. I don't know who I look more like.
Yeah, I can't tell either.
Like half and half.
You take traits from both of them, but you don't look like either of them.
I do. I just look like the better version of them both. I mean, let's keep it real. But what's so funny is that so many people say that you look like my father, which I can. At first, I was like, but now I can see it. Like, especially when you look at me like sternly, and I'm like, oh my gosh, can you not look at me like you're my dad, please? Okay, Quincy Jeter.
No, I'm not. No, I do think that I look a little bit like him.
Yeah, but then sometimes you look like my mom. I mean, them jeans be jeaning.
What?
The jeans, the jeans.
Oh,
Oh my
I
gosh.
was like, what
Science.
jeans am I wearing? Okay,
GENES.
okay.
Okay.
It didn't click for me.
Yeah, clearly. Clearly. But family dynamics are always so complicated.
Mm,
And my goal, my selfish goal, is to do what I can to keep you from having to spend too much time on a therapist's couch. Like, I'm not going to be able to keep you from it entirely, right? Because life be lifing.
mhm,
But at the very least, I should be able to hold myself accountable for what I can hold myself to and refrain from doing any further damage that I might cause,
mm.
if that makes sense.
You know, it does. I know that in America, in the world, parents being together is not, it's kind of rare, honestly. Like,
It's unfortunate.
it is very unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see you guys,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when I was younger, I would be like, I wish they were still together. I wish I had them.
Mm-hmm.
But now being 17, I feel like it's a
Mm-hmm.
part of my character now. Like I wouldn't be who I am today
Yeah.
if I didn't have these situations. But it
Mm-hmm.
does have me motivated to when eventually I have a kid, one kid,
Oh,
far in
not
the
just
future,
one. Okay.
just one. I'm going to work for them. I'm not only going to work for them, but I'm going to work for the relationship that I'm with at the time. Whoever
Mm.
I'm with, I'm going to provide. I don't want to, not saying that you guys gave up, but being that
Mm-hmm.
young, I understand the difficulties that you
Yes.
guys were faced with being in
Thank you.
college. Relationships
Mm-hmm.
and people aren't perfect, especially.
Mm-hmm.
So I want
I
to try
respect that.
to make something so that my child
Mm-hmm.
doesn't honestly have to grow up in the same conditions that I did.
I respect that, Quincy. I respect that. And I think that those are very good that's a very good aspiration to have. I respect that wholeheartedly. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm excited for you to have that and my future grandbaby to have
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
My future one grandbaby to have that. I'm cool with that. One child, one
Or
grandbaby.
maybe two. Maybe we can do it
All
like
right now.
just one or two.
All
Not more. No more than that. I'm serious
right.
because I already got like five siblings.
Beautiful siblings,
Yes, they are
though.
beautiful siblings. They are very beautiful.
Beautiful siblings.
Beautiful.
Very sweet, all with their own
Yeah, they're
personalities.
model-esque, honestly.
Model-esque.
Hmm.
Hey, yeah, they are.
Yeah, they got
They're
that swagger.
cuties. But I'm so glad that we could have this conversation and share it with people because I know we're not the only ones.
Yeah.
We are not the only ones who have come from separated households.
Mm.
We are not the only ones who have experienced parents who have had a parent speak on the other parent.
Mm.
And hopefully this sparks dialogue and gets people to be more mindful about how they speak in front of their children.
Exactly. No, that's
That's
that's what I want too.
that's what we're here for.
Hmm.
So I just hope we can pay that forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love you, Quincy.
I love you too, Mama.